I have written many versions of this script. I tried to do my usual format and it just felt a little off. I did a version where I was a bit more dramatic to make my opinions sound better. Another version where I was pulling my punches but a bit more analytical. I even tried a version where I filmed myself talking, but I looked like a psycho. So I'm trying this version, just speaking from the heart, because that's all I got at the end of the day for a discussion like this. This is a ridiculously opinionated topic, so this video will not be the end all for the discussion, but I hope it'll be a checkpoint along the road. When people talk about the golden age of movies, the answers are never going to stay in the same place. I think it was the 70s wake up on quality. No, it's the 90s reawakening. No, it's the 50s French New Wave. No, it's the 20s silent era, when objectively, all those answers are wrong. It's the early 2000s rom-com era. Hell yeah. There will never be a right answer here. Just conflicting opinions on what we've grown attached to in our own lives. At the end of the day, it's what makes us feel something that connects us to that movie or era. It could be nostalgia or seeing something so new it blows you away, whatever the case may be. A lot of people can act so territorial about what they love. There's no reason to get nasty about all this. The Marvel dorks and the pretentious film snobs have been going balls to the wall with denouncing one another, but they are actually a lot alike. Their common trait is their arrogance, begging for people to see that their opinion is objectively right and dismissing anyone who dares to question them. I really do hope this comes without saying, but this video isn't going to be stereotyping these people, because I believe with every type of person and every type of opinion, it can be placed on a spectrum. If you're a Marvel fan, I am not attacking you. If you like movies that demand a little bit more from you, I am not attacking you. I am simply bringing up issues that I have seen and experienced for these specific types of people that have become commonplace in the social media space and my personal experiences on set. Now please, don't leave or hate me with what I'm about to say. I got my bachelor's degree from a film school. Please stop. Don't do this. Please. But while I was at my film school, I had to work with a lot of these people. I should also mention that I was 20 when I attended this school. Before I attended, I lived on my own for 3 years out of high school working in the butcher department in a grocery store. So my guess on them acting this way is that they haven't experienced a lot, so within their own little bubble of experience, they think they're deep and introspective because they watched a black and white film. I'm not shitting you. There was one class where I was early, so I was just talking to the teacher about random stuff. We ended up talking about Star Wars, what we liked and disliked about the franchise. Fun fact, all of those random wires and buttons and gizmos on the wall are called gunk by industry terms, which is badass, baby. But there was a point in the conversation where a kid said, there's no good Star Wars movies actually. And I can get where he's coming from. Being a younger person in this current state of movies, Star Wars has no importance because he thinks it's all the same blockbuster schlock he's been taught to hate. But Star Wars is genuinely revolutionary for sci-fi filmmaking and fantasy writing, especially the costume and prop design. It genuinely was so innovative for the time. But I will say, every movie past 4 and 5 have good scenes, have good moments, but not overall good movies. I feel like even Star Wars fans would agree with that. So again, I can see where this kid is coming from, but it's like I said before, these kids haven't experienced enough to have fully fleshed out opinions. It's backed up with their arrogance. They think anyone who likes these movies are dumb and will not hesitate to bring that up in a discussion. Since I was in college and post-graduation, I've been on a decent amount of sets, and I do have some nightmares that come of it. One time I saw a boom op try to make a joke about recording sound for the fire pit we had going, so he put the microphone really close to it. Everyone giggled, so he doubled down and put it even closer, and almost caught the microphone cover on fire. I had this other guy who said he was going to mentor me, but ended up sexually harassing me and trying to groom me, all while having a girlfriend, so I thought he wasn't trying anything slick because I expect people to be loyal in relationships. So I guess that one's on me. I knew this other guy who seemed like a normal and considerate person, but ended up being genuinely weird with women and kind of sexist. I hope it goes without saying, of course I have met some of my best friends through this work that I love so much that I would be a little sad if I killed them with hammers. But the majority of the time, it's people who put themselves in a director or cinematographer role, who think being a good leader is yelling at people when even they don't know what they're doing. Those kids are who I really think of when I say the pretentious. They're so stuck up, think they know everything, and will easily retreat to mocking people's opinions because it's not their opinion or meet their legendary status of taste and quality within film. I find a majority of that on Twitter. I genuinely had to stop using Twitter as much because I found myself more cynical because of these people with such hatred in their hearts. Especially most recently is some discourse over the Barbie movie. There are two types of people in the discussion. People who are throwing a hissy fit that Margot Robbie didn't get nominated for Best Actress and Greta Gerwig didn't get nominated for Best Director. So they're making posts about how Barbie's been snubbed. Which I'll quickly say. 8 nominations, including Best Picture, and Greta is nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay. What do you want? The other side of this debate are the people acting overly cynical towards Barbie, calling it mid or bad in response to people loving it too much. Saying stuff like, it's lucky to be nominated at all, or Barbie's movie is one of many bullshit propaganda movies and then a male steals the show and that's what made it money and popularity. Women, you suck at creating shit. Even your rare exceptional success only succeed because of men. LOL. No, oh my god, young man, kill yourself! Yes, there's a certain point where it's opinion-based and plain out sexist when it comes to stuff like that, but there's an objective middle ground where these people love to ignore to a delusional extent. Barbie is a good movie. It was actually funny, had great charm, really great sets, nice color palettes, and had decent serious moments that I couldn't fully relate to, and that's fine. These people like to think they're introspective and open-minded because they watched old movies sometimes, and hate big studio wokeness, which all just sounds like
coffee, how I like my men. I don't like coffee.
In the realm of whimsical banter, where the delicate threads of humor are intricately woven into the fabric of linguistic artistry, there emerges a jest of unparalleled charm.
Quick tangent, but it's weird for me because when it comes to Oscars talk, I can't really say too much because I truly believe the Oscars are not a metric for quality or art. They are an establishment awarding movies that had big box office returns and public admiration. It's all just dollar signs and PR statistics. Yes, there can be a bias from the Academy like the actual snubbing of Tarantino or the Safdie brothers, and you can clearly see when they like a movie a lot. But at the end of the day, they don't want any controversy. They want to be the golden standard award that makes or breaks careers. So they aim for the safe route 99% of the time. When it comes to these pretentious film reviewers who think their brain is a computer, they 100% put a bad brand on people who love film because now we all come across as pretentious shits with an ego that refuses to have fun, when in reality, it's a spectrum of people.
Yeah.
These people are less infuriating to speak with because they tend to be a little bit more relaxed and less opinionated, but can become irrationally angry over the littlest of shit. While at my film school, there were a lot of these kids, and I would ask them what their big goal is to meet in this industry, and they all said the same thing. I want to work for Marvel, which I would say, why? Disney is one of the least creative and least considerate companies to work for. The only benefit of them is their job security because of their assembly belt method of production. If they can find a way to take advantage of you, they will very quickly. Look at their VFX artists. The reason why every Marvel movie is riddled with CGI is because their artists aren't unionized. I'm sure a lot of you have paid attention to the actor and writer strikes that at the time of writing this has ended. Very cool. But during those strikes, VFX artists attempted to unionize and unfortunately they were shadowed by the other strikes, so it ended up not being a big movement to get support from other people. In Disney's point of view, why make sets and props and costumes when you could throw all of that at the ununionized artists who will be overworked, underpaid, underappreciated, and show up every day for it? Disney is all about that green cash flow. They want to pay as minimal as possible and gain all the maximized profit, which totally makes sense since they are a company at the end of the day, but a good production studio wouldn't let that jeopardize the movie. I don't want to insult these types of people, but they can come across as kind of ditzy when it comes to talking about film. Entirely speaking about these two guys who have gone viral for their extreme pop culture loyalty and denouncing Martin Scorsese just because he called their movies theme park rides. I'm not going to shit on them for loving pop culture. If they genuinely love the formula of writing for these movies, then who am I to say that they're wrong? I'll save my Disney talk for another video, but those movies aren't even that funny anymore, and the most shocking thing they can do in those movies are someone dying and someone betraying the hero. I would love for these movies just to be fun action adventure films, but they're not anymore. They feel more like cash grabs. So when these guys try to speak about a different realm of movies that they clearly don't understand because they think these undaring movies are high art, they come across as kind of ditzy.
Then I think Martin Scorsese movies are like going to the DMV. I get it. There's a purpose. There's a reason I'm here. I gotta renew my license.
You gotta do it every once in a while.
I gotta do it every once in a while. It's never not been tedious. And yeah, Wolf of Wall Street's really fun for an hour. And then you pause it to go to the bathroom and you realize you got 2 more hours. And then it's a It's brutal to get through. That's how this movie is, but it's not even fun.
It's different sides of the spectrum. They say Martin Scorsese movies are like going to the DMV. I say watching the copy and paste formula that Disney has done for Marvel and Star Wars makes me feel brain dead. I think the key reason why this blew up was because it comes across as so arrogant. He's not doing any in my opinions or I personally thinks. He's stating that because Scorsese's movies are long and want to have a slower pace, it's bad. I don't want to be that guy, but I don't think he gets it. Scorsese clearly loves realism and does more history-type pieces that showcase greed, corruption, and violence. All of those traits need to be slow burns. The character needs to go through change. If someone starts the movie as a piece of shit, we would expect them to either double down on being a piece of shit or becoming a better person, or vice versa. If he can't sit down for 3 hours and just relax, that's on him. But it feels more like a personal vendetta because of Scorsese's comments on the superhero genre.
I would get rid of Scorsese's movies just cause. Because not only do we have to get rid of him and his attitude and get rid of boring movies like Killers of the Flower Moon, but then you also get rid of the bad movies that his movies inspire, like Joker.
Martin never even said that these movies sucked. He just said it's not high art, more like theme park rides.
Value of a film that's like a theme park film, for example, the Marvel type pictures, where the theaters become amusement parks. That's a different experience, and I was saying earlier, it's not cinema, it's something else. You know, whether you go for that or not, but it is something else, and we shouldn't be invaded by it.
And there's nothing wrong with him being right with that. I have never seen a movie where people are trying to clap and cheer more than Marvel movies. While trying to elaborate on his opinions, I couldn't help but see the top comment on this video perfectly phrasing it. The dude's not saying never eat donuts, he's just saying junk food is not a sound basis for a diet. Scorsese is the current figurehead for cinema, and for him, he sees it as an evolution of the culture, and he loves it to bits. This truly is his life, and he cares about it a lot. But at the end of the day, that is his opinion. And if this goober lets it bother him so much, then maybe Scorsese's got a point. To add on top of what I was saying earlier, I don't believe in their 3-hour movies are grueling argument.
Because it has The Shining and it has Doctor Sleep, which are both very critically acclaimed movies.
Yeah, but no one cared about Doctor Sleep.
You're right, it made no money.
Yeah, no one cared.
It was also 3 hours.
I think
because Marvel and Star Wars movies are usually 2 hours or more. Just because those movies are 1 hour shorter doesn't inherently mean they are better. I understand in these growing generations our attention spans are becoming terrible, and a 3-hour movie can feel really long. But if it's a good movie, it's 3 hours for a reason. It's telling a complex story that cannot be thinking about time restraints. It just tells the story. It has substance. I should also mention that specifically Scorsese only drops a film like every 3 to 5 years. I wouldn't feel satisfied with a 2-hour movie from him. A 3-hour movie, if it's good, can make you get comfortable, become engaged, have a more exciting finale, and really get to understand the characters instead of sitting down, giggling at the same quips that every character does, then going home. I understand that these are opinions from regular people where movies are just a fun little distraction for a day.
Neither of us want to write movies or direct movies.
no, I don't have really any desire to be in one.
But these two guys are making their brand about their movie takes, so it's only fair for me to express my opinion on why their mentality is close-minded, clearly biased, and comes across as half-baked arguments. People have so much pride, but they are not proud. Constant bickering filled with hatred and threats, it's also demeaning. I've seen people have a hot take with a piece of media, but will quickly backstep when there's a cooler majority opinion out there. Or people will act the opposite to whatever the status quo is just to seem cool for having a different opinion. It's all bullshit. Just be confident in yourself and your opinions. That is the way culture and art can progress. It's just being real. With the 2 videos I've posted so far, I've seen comments disagreeing with some points that I made, whether it's opinionated or factual. I support those comments. Disagree with me, I am begging you, because I read all the comments that come through. I don't want a platform where it's just me thinking I'm the best and most smartest man in the world. I want to pose questions and ideas to have you guys gain insight on the topic, and that includes disagreeing with me. Listen, I'm not trying to sit here and point at these 2 types of people and say that I am better. I don't really know where I land on the spectrum I've created, so you tell me. I love movies that were made with passion and effort. I love character studies more than action. I truly love realism. It feels more intense than fantasies because of that thrill that this story could really happen. I love a morally gray cast of characters that reflect how humans truly behave. I also love having fun. Whenever a movie comes out that is clearly trying to have fun, then I'm going to have a really good time if it's actually authentic and not forced. I don't constantly need complex storylines and arcs to feel like it's a good movie. I just love being passionate about other people's passions. If you want to know why I think cinema really is, it's exactly that. Passion and care. You can clearly see a difference in movies if those two elements are there or not. Who cares if a film is too mainstream or too niche? Just watch the damn movie and react to what they set up. These teams of filmmakers want to make you feel something different with their movies, and that includes blockbusters. So give them patience, give them a chance, and give them your attention. The amount of work that goes into this monumental industry is too important just to say, oh, it didn't make $1 billion in the box office. That means it sucks. There are tons of movies that are fantastic but ultimately flopped in the box office. It just sucks that we have such a dollar value towards art like this. Success does not mean doubling profit for studios. It's what it does for you, the audience. I am so inspired by a lot of these people in that industry that one day I want to make my own stuff that inspires more kids and future generations to create. And if you are wondering about where you land on the spectrum, it doesn't matter. Just don't be an asshole to people because they have different opinions. You should encourage other people to find media that they love. Speaking of, this isn't a sponsor or anything. This is just a genuine tip. If you are trying to watch more movies but don't know where to look, I recommend going to the Criterion Collection's website or Barnes & Noble. Then head over to the Criterion Collection they have in store. That is the best baby's first step start in finding more movies that aren't thrown at you by marketing teams. Or you could go to a local movie store or music store and they might have their own little used Criterion Collection that's also half off or pre-used. Seriously, start giving more movies a chance. What's wrong with watching something that you've never heard of, never seen the actors, and don't know the directors and writers? But hey, if you want to stay watching the 15 biggest movies of the year every year, that's genuinely fine too. Just know that there's so much out there that could be your personal favorite movie of all time. This century-long art form was made for you, so start watching.
Hit me up right here. Go down the description, sub down there. You got to sub down there, right down there. Hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment for what you want to see next. I'll see you later. Peace.
And watch my YouTube channel. There's a bunch of silly little short films on there that you might like, and there might be a U.S. history series on my channel very soon. I might be starting a U.S. history series. But yeah, watch all those movies and TV shows, and most of all, watch Schmeckle channel because he has good videos.
I mean, my Instagram is DEEJSIS. You can also follow my production page, Urban Acre Productions. This summer, I'm getting like a lot of stuff together. I'm going to start doing a lot of things. I'm actually planning on starting a podcast, actually filming videos, trying my hand at YouTubing. I'm not saying influencer because like I'm not trying to be like some like clout chasing like weirdo. I just want to like make quality stuff. I have a lot of stuff planned. I'm working on stuff, so trust me, it's coming. Yeah.